Hello, I'm just going to give you a very quick history of the Great British Tea Alarm because it may surprise you to know that it is in fact a wartime invention. It's not something that's been around forever. So before World War II, British people did not need an alarm and they took tea whenever they felt like it. However, on the 29th of September 1939, the government did an emergency census of the nation. Neville Chamberlain, the then Prime Minister, was shocked to discover that around 50% of the nation was in fact female. He'd never considered how ashtrays were emptied or clean laundry appeared in his wardrobe. And this revelation was difficult for the government at the time to come to grips with. And in fact, it was women that mainly made tea. So in order to keep up the spirits of the nation, it was ordered that women should not go to war. On the 10th of May 1940, Winston Churchill became Prime Minister, and as the bombings of civilians intensified and the munition factories worked long, long hours, stopping for tea was simply out of the question, and it was just considered a treat. In 1943, Churchill appointed Sir Henry Willink as the Minister for Health, and he immediately ordered regular tea breaks. A siren was chosen that had to be slightly higher pitched than the air raid. And the wonderful British singer, Gracie Fields, was chosen to make sure that the sound of the siren was something that wouldn't alarm people, but it was something that they could easily recognise. So when you hear that alarm, that's actually Gracie Fields holding a note. And it's often said that foreigners have to have good hearing in order to hear the tea alarm, as you'll see tourists completely perplexed as to why British people have suddenly disappeared when we're all dashing off for our regulation cuppa. Subsequent governments have not actually stopped the alarm, as we've got this sort of love-hate relationship over here. Some will argue that it's a nanny state and it's no longer needed, whilst the unions have collectively agreed that to take away the tea alarm takes away the rights of British workers. On the 23rd of June 2007, the then Prime Minister Tony Blair suggested that coffee could be an acceptable alternative to tea. He was then forced to resign the very next day, and since then no politician has suggested any change to the tea alarm. But here's a fun fact for you. Over 800 people were fined on Coronation Day in 2022 as they'd stayed in the pub drinking without switching to tea. And as the fines ranged from anything between like £500 to £1,200, depending on what county you were in, that's when Wetherspoons launched their free tea day. So on the 8th of September, very cheeky, but you can get free cup of tea in Wetherspoons.